If I was just starting out in e-commerce, knowing what I know now, I would do things very differently. In the past 15 years, I've generated over $100 million for the e-commerce brands that I've worked in. I've sold thousands of products and I've helped more than 200 people start and scale their own e-commerce businesses to more than $10,000 a month. I have a goal to build a $100 million e-commerce portfolio, and I want to take you on that journey with me. So in this video, I want to walk you through every single step that I would take to start an e-commerce business from scratch and get it to at least $10,000 a month and all the way up to $1 million a year. I'll share with you the exact process, the strategies, the tools, the apps, and everything that I teach in my e-commerce academy. I'm going to be covering 3 stages of growth. I'll go through the startup stage where it takes you from $0 to $10,000 a month. We'll then go through the growth phase where we go from $10,000 to $50,000 a month. And then we'll go into the scale phase where we get to $1 million a year. So if you've been thinking about starting an e-commerce business, this is the playbook that you're going to need to follow along if you really want to supercharge that business. So if that sounds good to you, let's go ahead and let's build this $1 million store. Our first phase is the startup phase. And this is where we want to go from $0 to $10,000 a month. Now this phase is the one that definitely has the most amount of work. It's effectively like a building phase where we're getting everything set up, we're getting the foundations right, and we're making sure that we have everything set up so that we can scale this business properly. Now getting from $0 to $10,000 a month is actually probably the hardest part about e-commerce. Once we get to that $10,000 a month, we start to get our stride, and it's a lot easier to get from $10,000 to $100,000 than it was to do that first $10,000 a month. But once it is all set up, it is a little bit more smooth sailing. So make sure you grab a notepad and a pen because we are going to be putting down a lot of information in this video. So in this phase, I'm going to break it up into 3 areas. The first area is how we set up our store correctly. The second area is where we're going to get our visitors from. And the third area is how we're going to turn those visitors into customers. Now, as I go along in exactly how to do these things, I'm going to reference some apps and some links. I'm going to make sure they're all down below in the description and in the show notes. So make sure you take a look at those as you need to. If you want to run an e-commerce business, you're going to have something to sell. So if you don't already have a product, this is a really important piece of the puzzle because if you haven't got anything to sell, you ain't got a business. Now, my recommendation is if you're not sure what to sell, is try and sell something that you're passionate about or have some sort of interest in, because it's not going to be easy for the first few months while you're starting this store. And it's going to be a lot easier for you to get through those hard times if you're working on a product that you enjoy. So to find a product within your passion or industry, we can use tools like Google Trends, we can go into Amazon, we can go into eBay, we can go into Walmart, and we can see what's trending within your category. Google Trends is awesome because what we do is we'll type in the things we're interested in and it will pop back with what's trending in that industry. We can then double down on that, see what's selling in that space, and find a product that we think we can resonate with. Then what we'll do is we go to that product and we find something that we might be able to make better about that product or improve it. A good thing to do here is look at the reviews on those products on Amazon and see what negative feedback people have about that product. Then what you can do is go and grab that product, work with a supplier, and then what you can do is try and remake that product with the improvement made on what the feedback is. And that means that you've got a product that we can take to market that's different to everything else on there. Now, the other thing you need to think about when it comes to product is understand the economics. Now, economics is really important when it comes to e-commerce because we don't want to sell a product that doesn't have a high margin. We want to work to improve our margins as best as possible. And our rule of thumb is we try and get a margin around 60 to 70% at minimum. This allows us to have enough money to run our business, run ads, and acquire new customers. Now, the other rule of thumb that we try and abide by here is have a small, high value product. That's why jewelry works really well. That's why supplements work really well, because they're small and high value. So try and think of something like that. So it's easy to ship, makes a lot of money, and it has a lot of profit in it. Now, once you've found that product, it's time to actually get the store set up. Now, we recommend using Shopify as the main platform. Shopify makes e-commerce super easy. It takes all the tech headache away. All you need to do is load your products up, press go, and sales are coming in. So if you're thinking about using another platform, that's all okay. The only problem is there's going to be a lot more tech headaches that you got to think about. Shopify just takes those all away. It's got all the apps. It has everything you need. And if you want to try it, I do have a link down below that will give you a trial. I think it's 7 days free or a couple of days free and $1 a month for the first 3 months. So it's a really good way to get started. So once you've got your Shopify store signed up and you're ready to rock and roll, what we want to do now is start loading our products. Now, the key here with our products is the way we load them. We need to make sure that we have great product photos and a great product description. We can't just load one product photo and just a short description because the people that visit your store need to really feel like they know exactly what they're buying satisfying by being able to see the product in detail. So 5 images is the absolute minimum. I'd also recommend at this stage, if you are using Shopify, use genuine Shopify theme. Don't buy a theme from Theme Forest or somewhere like that. Make sure you buy it from the Shopify App Store. Free themes are good to get started with, but you tend to get limited on the features. So go ahead and get a paid theme where you can, because it's going to have all the features that you need. It's going to be fast. It's going to be optimized. It's going to make you get sales a lot quicker. So the next step is starting to tell the world about your product. This is where we need to start setting up our social media platforms. So we need to create an account on Facebook. We need to create an account on Instagram, on TikTok, and any other social platforms you think that your audience is on. Now we want to do this early on in the phase, because here we're also going to install an advertising pixel. We want to make sure the advertising pixel is up and running as soon as possible, because what a pixel does is it actually tracks the data that people hit your store, which means when we turn ads on later, that we're going to know a lot about the types of customers that hit our store. So make sure you get those set up next. So the stats are that of 100 people that visit our store, only 1 to 2% of them actually buy things. So that's 1 or 2 people. So what happens to the other 98? Well, this is where we want to make sure we're capturing people's data. So for every new store that I set up, I always have an ability to capture people's information. It's the pop-ups that you see typically on these e-commerce stores. So I use a tool called Klaviyo. Klaviyo is an email marketing platform that's designed specifically for e-commerce. There's a free trial down below, I think for up to 500 subscribers. So make sure you do that. It integrates so tightly with Shopify that it tracks everything someone does. It sends them emails on autopilot. It basically makes money for you while you sleep. So definitely set up Klaviyo to capture email addresses and send emails out to people. So now that we've got this all set up, we've got our products loaded, we have our pixels installed, we've got our pop-ups up and running. It's now time to test your store so we can go live. Now, the only thing I want you to do is make sure you test it on all devices. Don't just test it on your desktop, also test it on your mobile phone. I had one member of our e-commerce academy that came to me and said, "Hey, Brendan, I'm getting lots of sales from my desktop, but not getting any from mobile." I said, "Hey, well, have you tested your phone on mobile?" And they said, "No, I haven't looked at it on mobile for ages." We opened up their phone and we went to their website on the mobile device, and we'd found they'd installed a little live chat app, and the chat icon was over the add to cart button, which meant no one could actually click add to cart. Now, if they had have tested that earlier, they wouldn't have lost all those sales. So make sure you're testing on all devices, not just on your screen, but actually on your phone. All right, the store is now set up. So how are we going to get visitors to the store? We think about 3 key areas of doing that. The first one is getting your SEO set up. So we use SEMrush, link down below, that will help you find the keywords you want to optimize for. We get those keywords and we set them up on our collection pages. Now, this is really important to do this now, because SEO is like planting a seed, and we want that seed to grow so that we can rank over time. So the earlier we do SEO, the better. I do actually have a video on my channel about SEO that's going to take you through exactly how to do that. We want to do that early, and we want to do that thoroughly when we start our store off. The second way we're going to get traffic is via Google Ads. Now, we want to set up a Google Ads account, and we're going to set up a PMax account. What the PMax does is it basically goes out there and advertises to people who like your products. So we just feed our products into PMax, and it's going to go out there and advertise for us. It's really cool, really simple, really easy. Now, the next way we're going to get traffic is via a Meta Ads campaign. Now, Meta Ads is awesome because it's going to put your ads in front of people that are interested in your products, but not necessarily ready to buy. It's what we call brand awareness. So we're going to need a combination of brand awareness, and we're also going to need a combination of brand capture. And what that means is when people search in Google, they find your brand, but when people are just browsing social media, they also see your brand. So we want to set up a basic Meta Ads campaign. And in order to get some inspiration for Meta Ads, Facebook has a really cool thing, which is called the Facebook Ads Library, and it allows you to spy on your competitors' ads. So Google Facebook Ads Library will take you straight there, and what you can do is just put your competitor's name into there, and it's going to show you every single ad that they are running. So what we do there is we just copy the ideas of their ads, we put our brand, our products in there, and then we load them up, and we have a better chance of those ads doing really, really well. So we've got some customers now coming in the door via our paid ads. Now, we do recommend paid ads first because it means you get customers fast. If we just wait for SEO, it takes a long time. Ads will get them to us now. But obviously, when they get there, we're going to need to ensure that we have the best chance of converting them to a sale. So this is where a little bit of conversion rate optimization comes in. And in order to improve your conversion rates, we're going to need a couple of things. The first one is we're going to need to start showing proof to people that our products are great, which means we're going to have to start capturing reviews. I recommend installing a reviews app. We use Judge Me, really cool app, really good value for money, and it helps capture people's reviews. And the more reviews that you get, the better chance of your conversion rate improving. It's a little bit like Amazon. If you have a look at Amazon, they are really prioritizing reviews on every single product because feedback from other people helps amplify the value of your product. And then the second thing we need to do to improve our conversion rates is by using the pop-up that we have with Klaviyo, we can actually create automations in the background so that when people do visit our site and not buy, we use these automations in Klaviyo to get people back. The automations I'd recommend you get started with is a welcome series, a cart cart abandonment flow, and a win-back series. Now, the cool thing about Klaviyo is they are already built in there as templates. So you can just click the template, install the flow, and you're off to the races. Obviously, we need to make sure that we get our products out to our customers. So we're gonna have to set up shipping profiles on Shopify. And we're gonna also need to determine how much we charge for shipping. Now, the best version is free shipping. People love free and fast shipping, but we can't all do that. Now, in order to encourage people to buy from us, they need to know how fast they're gonna get it and how much it's gonna cost them to get it. So we need to set up really well optimized shipping profiles. If I could at this stage, I would make sure I do free shipping where possible. And I'd also try and let people know when they're gonna get that product. Amazon has really raised the bar on this. And you know, when you buy from Amazon, how much it's gonna cost you, AKA it's usually free, and how soon it's going to come to you. So we need to at least try and get to that level. If not, we want to at least have no surprises. So offer flat rate shipping and let them know how long it's going to take to get there. People will buy if they're confident in when they're going to get the product. Now, the final thing that's going to improve your conversion rate is removing all elements of risk. So when someone buys something, there's an element of risk usually in buying it. They're going to want to know, okay, is it going to fit me? What happens if it doesn't work? Is it going to break? What's the quality? So we need to make sure on our product pages, we absolutely bust those objections, add a warranty in there, have a clear returns policy, have a money day back guarantee. Make sure they're clearly articulated on your product pages, and that's going to help you increase your conversion. All right, let's take a deep breath. That has been a lot. We've covered quite a few things there. Now, it's a lot of work. Like I said, this is the busiest time. It's about getting your store set up, loading your products, getting your ads set up, setting up for conversions, and really making sure we have our foundation set right. And this is the simple playbook that we use, and it pretty much gets most of our stores to that $10,000 a month mark, just past that startup phase, just to that side hustle moving into a full-time hustle. So now we're basically just going to start leveling up and getting you from $10,000 to $50,000 a month. By the way, if you're loving this content, make sure to give that subscribe button wherever it is on this screen, and you will get alerts for every time I drop a video just like this. Now we're into the growth phase. This phase is very similar to the $0 to $10,000 a month, but we just do many of the same things. We just do it better with a little bit more precision. Let's start with getting the website right. So now that we're getting sales, what we want to do is extract more value out of the customer. And this is where we focus on our average order value. It's at this stage we think about adding upsells and cross sells. We think about adding small add-ons at the add to cart page, and we think about adding bigger add-ons or bundles as people get closer to the checkout. I recommend apps like Upsell or Upcart or one-click upsell, things like that. These are ways that we take our average order value from where it is now just to prop it up a little bit. It means that every visitor that comes to our store is worth more to us. Now, we also want to improve our conversion rate. So a couple of things we can do here is add videos to your product page explaining the products or seeing people using the product in the real environment. Now that people are actually out there using your products, let's get videos sent back from them. It's called user-generated content, and people love to see other people using your products. The second thing we can do here to improve our conversion rate is add in frequently asked questions to each of our product pages. There's no doubt that from the $0 to $10,000 a month is you've been getting questions from your customers about how to use the product, what does it do, and any sort of objections and things that have stopped them from buying. What I want you to do is grab all those questions and put them into a frequently asked questions on your product pages, because we want to be able to answer those questions before they ask them so that there's no delay in them making the purchase. This stage is also the stage where we want to start looking at analytics. Shopify is great for this. So if you go to the Shopify analytics tab, there's a little section there that's called conversion rate, and it has 3 separate steps in there. The first one is the add to cart rate. The second one is the reach checkout, and the final one is the purchase rate. So this is where we measure our conversion funnel. What we need to look at there is that the metrics of add to cart and reach checkout rate are always going up. I want you to get familiar with those because they're the ones that you're going to need to impact to actually make the sales, because add to cart rate plus reach checkout plus converted equals revenue. So we want to make sure that we nail those numbers and look at ways that we can improve those at all times. So with the store optimization going up and the average order value going up, we just want to now put a little bit more fuel on this and really make it grow. So in this instance, we're going to go from the one PMax campaign in our Google ads. We're going to have multiple campaigns for multiple products. This means that we're going to take the ones that we're selling out of that Google PMax campaign and we're going to amplify those in their own campaign, which effectively means we're doubling or we're tripling our ad spend in Google PMax. The key here is we learn what's worked over the last few months to get you to $10,000 a month. We spend more money on the things that are working and we stop spending on the things that that aren't working. We do a very similar thing in our meta ads. We create multiple campaigns now for multiple products and multiple offers. We continue to go in and look at what our competitors are doing. We're copying their ads and we're starting to spend more money on the things that are working and again, dropping down the things that aren't working. This is where we're using the data to make the decisions on how we scale our business. The other thing that's happening in this period is we've now grown our email list. We've been capturing them on our website and we're growing our Klaviyo list. So this is where we should be sending regular emails. On one of my stores, we send emails 3 to 4 times a week to our list, and our emails generate nearly 30 to 40% of our monthly revenue just by sending these campaign related emails. So right at this stage, we want to make sure we're regularly communicating with our customers about our products. We're educating them, we're giving them behind the scenes, we're building a community around our customers, and we're using our email list to generate more and more revenue. And then the final way to double down on our traffic here is to really amplify our SEO. And in order to do that, we should be writing regular blogs at this stage. So I recommend at least 1 blog a month, and that blog needs to be based around keyword content and keywords that we've found in SEMrush that we can create blogs for. The cool thing about SEMrush, it actually gives you blog ideas based on the keywords that you want. So if you want to use SEMrush, I do have another trial down below that you can get access to SEMrush and get straight in there and get understanding what sort of blog content that you would write. Here's a pro tip. If you're not sure what email marketing to send, you can actually send your blog as an email. Those ones actually generate quite a bit of revenue. So by the end of this growth phase, we should be doubling down on our ads, spending more money. We should be sending more email marketing, and we should be amplifying our SEO. We should have a consistent conversion rate, and our average order value should be increasing. It's at this stage where we should be hitting that $40,000 to $50,000 a month mark. And if we aren't hitting that, then we just got to keep going through this cycle, keep doing the things well, and just keep getting better rather than stacking on new things. We just need to get the foundations right before we go to this next level, which is the scale level. This is where we really amplify everything that we're doing and building on the strong foundations that we have already built. This is what takes us from that $40,000 to $50,000 a month up to $84,000 a month. And if we're doing $84,000 a month over the entire year, that gets us to $1 million a year business. So that needs to be your goal. This phase, we look at 3 areas: increasing traffic, increasing your capability, and expanding into new markets and selling in more places. Now, to increase our traffic, it's actually quite simple. We just need to turn on more taps. Right now, we've only got sort of 2 main taps going, and that's Meta and Google. This is where we can look at turning on more taps. We can turn on the TikTok ads tab, we can turn on a Bing tab, we could turn on a Pinterest tab. We basically want to look at other marketing channels that we can just turn on and add more traffic to our store. This is where we're also really going to double down on the numbers and understand the economics in much more detail. We're going to look at things like our customer lifetime value. So when we acquire a new customer, what value are they to us over the long term? Because if we know that, then we know how much we're willing to spend to acquire a new customer. So we can just keep putting money into the cash machine and money keeps spitting out, but we need to know those numbers to be able to do that. So numbers you need to understand at this stage is what is your customer lifetime value and how much are you prepared to spend to acquire a new customer. Once you've got those ads dialed in with new ad platforms and more money to spend on ads, we now need to look at getting additional help. And this is where we expand our capabilities. Now, I like to think about buying my time back. So I want to start delegating some of my tasks to those highly time consuming tasks to other people. These are things like customer service, like graphic design, setting up ads, the things that take me a lot of time that my time would now be better spent in growing the business and being strategic. So this is where you want to start hiring people, the customer service reps, the graphic designers, the ads managers. Now, I much prefer to hire in-house as opposed to using agencies because they can work within your terms and they can understand your business a lot better. That's now going to free up your time to really go the next level. And the way we get to the next level is we actually start selling in more places. So right now we're just selling on our Shopify e-commerce platform, which is one single channel. What we want to now do is expand to more and more channels. This is selling on places like Amazon, like on Walmart, on eBay, and it's even selling into more countries. And then what we do is we go through and we can repeat the exact same process we've just done in every single region. So you can really start to picture what's happening here. We set up one store in one region, we make sure it works, we get the foundations right, and then we just rinse and repeat again and again and again in multiple regions. It's going to quickly take us from this 0 to 10,000, from 10 to 50, from 50 to 84, which is $1 million a year. And then we're just going to multiply that time and time again in every single region. And that is literally the exact process that I would take if I was starting an e-commerce store right now. And it's actually the process that I teach in my e-commerce academy. Now you could go ahead and do all this yourself. And that is literally the exact step-by-step process that I would take if I was launching an e-commerce store right now. And I wanted to get to $1 million a year. And if you do follow this, of course, you're going to get your store to a fantastic level, 10, 20, 30,000 dollars a month, hopefully $1 million a year. And if you think about that, you've really only got two options. One is to do it yourself and take time to get results, or work with someone that's been there, done it before, and be part of a community where everyone else is doing it together. Now, if I were you, I'd obviously be doing the second option because I want results quickly. So if you're looking for a little bit of help to implement everything that I've talked about right now, then I think you're a great fit to join our e-commerce bootcamp. I've got a link down below if you're interested. It's really easy, but we actually unpack everything in detail, step by step, exactly how you get from $0 to $10,000 a month on an e-commerce platform and beyond. But if you do want to do it alone, I do have lots of other videos that are floating around me here. Make sure you subscribe to the channel for anything new that comes up, and I wish you well on getting your e-commerce store off the ground.